Hello everybody, and welcome to my 10 years drawing challenge video. My name is Michelle Furlong, and I draw characters for a living, which is pretty awesome. I've been meaning to do this for a while, so I'm pretty excited. And today I'm going to be doing the 10 years challenge redrawing my character Harvest from this drawing that I did in 2009, and it's absolutely crazy thinking that it's been 10 years. And again, it feels like it's gone by super fast, but a lot has happened. I mean, I went through high school, I graduated college, and I'm now working in the industry that I decided that I wanted to work in when I was 12 years old, which I think is crazy for anyone. Like, I decided very early in my life that, like, yes, this is what I want to do for a living. I want to draw cartoon characters. And I actually stuck with it and saw it through, and I'm so happy. And, like, this year in particularly, I was really thinking about how younger me would react if she could see what I'm doing now. So today we're going to be redrawing my character Harvest, who you'll see pop up in my art over and over again because they're part of this comic book story that I'm hoping to release, well, now within a couple of years. And back when I was a teen, when I was first coming up with this character, I didn't know what I was going to do with them. I hoped that could be a thing, and now that I'm an adult and I have the skill set to be able to do this, it's really exciting to say, oh yes, this is like just on the horizon. And again, this is a character that has meant a lot to me. I feel like Harvest is a character that really helped push me to get better at what I was drawing, and really, like, every single day I tried to improve my skills just so that I could make this a reality for myself one day. And I just remember, like, back in 2009 when I was really starting to pick up doing the character drawing, which I had only really started getting serious about, I think, a few years before then. I was starting to really get into it. I think I got my first drawing program, and this was one of the first drawings I tried to do on it in the drawing program with my very first tablet that I ever got, which I still have, and I love that tablet. It's one of the best ones out there. So you can probably see here that I'm actually not looking at my reference too much either while I'm doing this. Like, this character, I've been drawing this character for, again, like over a decade now. I've pretty much got a good visual idea of who they are in my mind, but you'll see me sort of pop the picture up to sort of remind myself, like, what was going on, and really, like, thinking about why I was drawing the way I was drawing and everything I had learned since then. Like, you can see stuff in, like, Harvest's nose, which is much more what looks like a cat nose. Like, I didn't really know what, like, a goat or, like, a deer nose looked like. I just wasn't, like, looking at that reference. And since then, like, I did a lot of studies to actually learn what those animals looked like. And I incorporated more and more of those into the design, so it looks a little bit more unifying. Same thing with the ears, and even just the way I designed the hair and stuff. But it's interesting, like, you can probably tell, like, this is the same character, but, like, I've gotten better at representing, like, the shapes in the hair. But the hair, I mean, it's pretty much like the kind of the same hairstyle, and even, again, just like who this character is and what they look like, it's very, very similar and the same. In fact, the eyes, I feel like I do that same shape for the eyes, I just do it a little bit better now. Like, I understand what I'm trying to do shape-wise for the eyes, which is kind of like this like vertical almond shape, which is, it's very Disney-like. And at the time when I at least did this, again, I was really trying to experiment with my style, or again, just like how I approached drawing things. Because when I started, I very much took a lot of influence from manga and anime, which was kind of the thing that inspired me to really do this and get into character design, which I'll totally talk about in another video. But when I was, again, between 15 and 16, I was really starting to play around with mixing my style with a more illustrative and animation type style, because that's what I wanted to do, was go into animation. And so I kind of have this funny, like, combo style starting, and now, again, 10 years later, you can really see that, because I really retained the appeal that you get with anime and manga, with the larger eyes and just more of those, like, innocent looking features and proportions and things. But then going to animation school, I really learned how to bring more of that dynamic drawing that you get with Western animation, and really understanding 3D shapes and how to really turn your character and making them, again, just look a little bit more 3D. Like, this character feels like they could move and turn in space, which is what I was really, really aiming for all those years ago. It's so nostalgic, like, looking back at, like, how I drew. And I never threw any of my drawings away. I know that's a thing that like a lot of artists do, is that like they'll see the bunch of their old art and they just throw it away, and I kept everything. And I'm so glad I did that, because this was so nostalgic, like going back and trying to find like actual artwork from 2010 and finding the specific sketchbooks I had then and picking something that I wanted to do. And I'm really glad that I did Harvest, because I've had this character for so long, and this feels like it's a little bit more than a redraw. Like, this is more of a redesign, but you can kind of see again how this character has changed over 10 years and some of the different design decisions I've made. Like Harvest is obviously like a lot more sun-kissed in skin color now than before, and instead of having this like little like blue tattoo on their cheek, there's now freckles, which again I felt like just worked a little bit more. I actually learned how to draw like a torso. I don't know why I cut off the original at like where Harv's clavicle is. Like, that's super weird. I just learned how to like crop my artwork a little bit better as well. Harvest also has horns, which I like. Harvest has on and off had horns throughout the years, and I feel like I've finally come up with a horn design that I really like, kind of this like broken horn type look, which is really interesting and fits for the character and the character's personality a little bit more. And, you know, learning more and more about like the design aspect of character design after all those years, I was really putting in more effort into bringing out a lot of those specific details and really thinking about like what this character's story and personality was and how to show those elements in the physical design. Which again, I'm definitely hoping to do a little character design video later on too, about my own approach to character design and bringing that behind the scenes story and personality of your character and how to show that in the physical design. And so for Harvest, you can actually kind of see in the original design that Harvest is a lot more generic looking with the face shape I'm using, with even just like the colors too, and the kind of hairstyle I used for it. But again, looking at the more updated version, you can kind of see like there's so much here that's similar. It really is the same face shape. It really is basically kind of the same hairstyle, but I'm taking all of that design that I've learned over the years and I'm really like inserting into this. Yes, the hair is the same, what would you call it? Maybe like the same physical haircut, but I'm using more softer, rounder shapes to really kind of define things a little bit more. You can actually see better sections of the hair and whatnot. The face is a lot more bean-like. Again, it has a lot more roundness to it, and everything is just a little bit more unified in the look. And I just really took the time to get down to the specifics and to make sure that Harvest and all these different elements of Harvest look very iconic, which is important to any character design, is to have really iconic and unique shapes and shape language for the characters so that they're memorable. And that's how you create a character that really sticks in someone's mind. Again, which I'm hoping to talk about in a future video. I won't talk about it now because this is already going to be pretty long, so it will be in the future, though. It will happen in the future at some point. I should also mention I am using Clip Studio Paint for most of the process, and I switched into Photoshop a little bit later to sort of refine some of the colors and things, just because I'm a little bit more used to Photoshop and using the adjustment layers of things and the coloring in Photoshop more than Clip Studio Paint, which I've only had like maybe a few months experience with. But I really, really like Clip Studio Paint. I like the drawing tools in it way, way more, so I'm trying to migrate over to it. Yeah, I really like Clip Studio. I mean, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I'm just saying it's a cool program. If you want to check it out, you totally should. I think they do like free trials and stuff. But anyway, they have this new like colorize feature, which you can see me slightly playing around with at a certain point. Again, I'll try to do a video on that too. But essentially, it's AI technology that's automatically coloring your photo or line work or picture or whatever with little to no information about what colors should actually go there. It's just guessing to the best of its ability, and it's really fascinating, considering I'm also not very naturally talented at doing colors. I feel like colors are very challenging for me. Like, I typically use very, very limited color palettes because I don't trust myself with the full spectrum of the rainbow. You know, line work and design and shape language are more natural to me than colors are. So for me, having something like this that can, you know, just kind of show me like what its take on the coloring process would be like is super fascinating. And so you'll actually see me Frankensteining together what my own idea was and what the computer's idea was, and sort of mixing it together. And I'm really, really happy with the results. Like, it definitely gave me more of a jumping off point for where to take the rendering with for the final drawing. And again, it's just a tool. I see a lot of people out there who are arguing like this it's not art or you're cheating if you use this. And I'm like, look, it's a tool like anything else. The computer's a tool, a pencil's a tool, paper's technically a tool. It's just in the way you use it. Again, like I'm using this as like a way to help me realize like the final version of my image. And I don't feel like this is cheating or, you know, it's lessening the experience of the art at all. It's just helping me out. And it's just fun to play with. If you have this program, please play with the program in this colorized technology. It's cool. It's really, really fun, and I love technology. So, and it's insane. Like, this was technology that did not exist back in 2009. So that's why I'm also playing around with this, is just to show like how different the times have changed. Computers can color our own drawings for us. How insane is that? Holy smokes. Man, it's funny looking at the line weight and how I shaded things too. It's so funny seeing the difference. Like with the hair, I try to really render it out like in this realistic way, but then the shapes I'm using for the hair are very simplified. Again, it's very cartoony, and it's really funny seeing like the combo between that. And then now, you know, I realize like, well, if you're doing very cartoony simplified shapes, like your shadows and the way you're like rendering it should be very similar to that. Like, it should exist within that same style. Like, it should look like it's from the same universe, essentially. Like, with my original drawing, it kind of looked like these were, like, from two different things. It looked like I had, like, photo bashed these two things together. I feel like when I was 16, too, I was very nervous about what I drew and presented to people as well. Like, I wasn't as happy and confident with the things that I draw that I just, like, you know, show to people in my sketchbook. I'll just flip to a page and be like, hey, check out this thing that I drew. Isn't that cool? Like, that's nice. Like, when I was a teen, I was so much more like, I really curated like what I showed to people, and I didn't feel okay with showing people my sketchbooks at all. And I think it was because like I was very worried about what I should be drawing instead of what I wanted to draw. You know, it's like, oh, this is the thing that like I should be showing to people instead of this stuff that like I like, but like, you know, maybe other people won't get this. So I think at the time too, I was starting to post to like DeviantArt at the time. I won't give the link. I think I was posting between my freshman and sophomore years of high school, maybe my junior year too, and then I suddenly stopped. And the reasoning for this was that I was posting this stuff that I liked and I was really happy with, but I was starting to realize, like, as I was sort of coming closer to me going to art college, or hoping to go to art college, I was realizing that my cartoons specifically weren't at the skill level that I wanted them to be. And so I made the executive and pretty mature decision at the time to stop posting my art. And my reasoning behind this was that I was becoming very anxious and obsessed with posting things to the internet, as I feel like most people have that sensation of like, I have to post another thing, I have to get the likes, I have to get the comments, I've got to get more things out there. Like, I feel like, you know, 10 years later compared to when I had like first started trying to do it, like there's so much more pressure now. It's absolutely insane. Like, there are these really young teens that are being pressured to like just constantly post things to Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And like when I was just starting, like these things were only just starting to gain a little bit of momentum. And I'm so glad I stopped when I did, because like I just felt like I wasn't ready. I saw all of these, you know, beautiful pieces of artwork, and I was like, you know, I really like that, and I want my stuff to be at that level. I think I just want to spend time improving my work and gaining a little bit more confidence. And like when the time is right, I think I'm going to know when the time is right to like really post my stuff and get my stuff out there. And for me, again, that time period was between, I think I stopped between 2010, 2011, and I started posting my stuff in 2017 to Instagram. That was the first time I posted my artwork. And again, that was between like almost 8 years before I posted my artwork again. And I was very happy. Like, it felt correct. I had finally come to this point where I was like, I think it's like, I think I'm ready. And again, college was super stressful. Like, I give props to anyone who tries to post their artwork while they're still in college or in high school. Like, you know, so much of your time is going towards your studies and doing homework and assignments and stuff. Like, that's so insane to try to keep up with social media at the same time. Like, it's absolutely mind-blowing to me, because like I definitely couldn't do that if I was still like in the throes of things. And I was still doing a little bit of school, but like not so much towards the end. And yeah, it was pretty funny. when I finally posted like my first couple of things, I had such a good reaction from people. They just genuinely enjoyed what I was posting, and it was so nice, and it was very exciting and uplifting. And I just kept it up. I posted fairly frequently, and so yeah, I just kept doing that, and then I finally, just kept posting some of my warm-up sketches I would do before work and doing college and stuff, and yeah, it just went well. And again, I'm really glad that like I made that decision to just sort of come out of nowhere after all these years with my artwork. I'm not saying that's what everyone has to do. Again, I got the comment a lot during school that like you should post your work, but it's so stressful when you're in school. You have so many responsibilities already, and to have social media be one of those is just crazy to me. So like if you can, do it. If you can't, don't stress out over it. Do it when you can. Don't make it the priority just yet. Wait until you know you're in a good place to do it, and then you can really start to show people what you've got and show people what you love to make too. Don't show what you think people want to see. It's always the stuff that you think like no one's going to like or appreciate that like, that's the stuff that really blows up. So yeah, draw what you love. And don't worry about if it's like what the mass populace wants to see. Like I can guarantee you there's someone out there that really wants to see the stuff that you have, the personal ideas that you have and that you want to get out into the world. And for me, it was definitely the thing where I just felt like there was sort of this void there. I didn't see anyone else drawing characters like this. I didn't see anyone else telling stories about these kind of characters, and I wanted that. But yeah, I think now, looking at the final result of this, it's crazy to see like how far I've come in 10 years. I would honestly love to do this again, using some of my like earliest character work that I could possibly find and seeing what the difference then and there would be, because I didn't start drawing characters 10 years ago. It's actually a little bit more than that. So it'd be really interesting for me to see what like something, a character that I drew like way at the beginning that I haven't drawn at all in all this time. Because like Harvest, I've drawn continuously like every single year since the 2009 drawing, and redesigned this character and everything. So it would be really interesting to see one that I just like flat out have never drawn again since the moment I drew it, like more than 10 years ago. But yeah, anyway, I'm hoping to do more videos just in general in the future, which would be super cool. And if there's any specific topic you'd love for me to talk about, I know I had a few requests for, say, doing things like on character design, which I'm definitely hoping to do, what to do about like art block and things, really big topics like that. I also do sculpture, so if you want to know anything about sculpture, ask. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning into my first video on here. If you like this and you really want to see more, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, favorite, all of that good stuff. And if you really like this and you can't wait to see more of my art, I post a lot on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff, and I'll leave links down in the description. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Okay, oh man. I think we should just run through this before we have any more technical problems. I don't know why it keeps disconnecting, but it is. It's going, oh gosh. What are the words? It keeps on disconnecting my microphone. I'm in the middle of this passionate speech and then it just goes silent. Why? Let me tell you, this is really annoying. Having to restart the recording every single time it changes microphones. This sucks. Your stuff out. Whoops. Oh shoot, I just whacked my desk. Fill the void of darkness with your art. Light heart, dark light heart. But yeah, oh man, words. But yeah, bleh. Michelle doesn't know how to talk, it's fine. Why do you keep doing this to me, microphone? And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye. What the fuck? Great, now I'm gonna do multiple takes of the bye-bye.